Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So this video is really in response to these comments that I keep hearing from VladTV, where he's criticizing Nas for picking the worst beats. And, really I think that his comments are just ridiculous. Nas is a legend. Nas has many classic songs and albums under his belt. If he was such a horrible beat picker, that wouldn't be the case. I think that people, when they think of good beats, they're thinking of like top 40 type songs. They're thinking about these songs for the clubs, the songs that make people dance and all that kind of stuff. That's the limited definition that these people have of a good beat, And I think that Nas is beyond that. I mean, some of the best producers in the game have worked with Nas. Nas has some of the best beats on all of his albums. Even for the albums that people say are second-tier albums or not his best albums. Like albums like I Am. Even that album that people criticize has some of the best beats on it, like that song Hate Me Now. I mean, come on, man. That's one of the best beats ever made. And then you look at even that Nostradamus album, it has some great songs on there with excellent beats, and Nas's rhyme skills are impeccable. Over these tracks, it's just like a hell of a combination. And most people with sense understand this, man. But you have people like this guy, VladTV. I really think that he has some kind of axe to grind against Nas. He's just a hater. He hates on Nas. I mean, this is the same guy that said the Takeover was better than Ether. I mean, only somebody that doesn't really appreciate hip-hop would say something like that. I mean, that beat for this Ether song is a classic beat. It's so classic that people here on YouTube for the longest time used that beat whenever they wanted to diss somebody. That song is a classic. Nas set the gold standard in terms of diss songs. And, the Takeover was hot. That's a hot track, no doubt, but it's not nowhere near as fire as Ether. And anybody that studies hip-hop or that's a fan of hip-hop understands this. But you got this white guy, VladTV, who is nothing but a culture vulture, man. Somebody from the outside trying to define what hip-hop is, man. In the words of Lord Jamar, this guy is just a guest in the house of hip-hop. And he's acting like he owns this hip-hop thing, like he's the one to define what's good and what's bad and all that kind of stuff. Typical white man type of behavior, man. It's like they come from outside and then they want to define reality from the outside. And, that's what you have with this hip-hop thing, man. And I just wonder about Lord Jamar, like, why does he collaborate with this guy, VladTV? I mean, I know they have a personal type of friendship or whatever, but it's like, I wonder, like, how do you mix that with those lessons? You claim to be 5%. You claim that the white man is the devil and this and that, but yet you're rolling with the devil. You're working with the devil. I mean, doing all these videos with the devil, helping the devil build up his channel. And I see you have your own thing. I'm glad you have your own channel, and I support your channel. I follow your channel. I'm subscribed to it. I regularly watch. And I really think that that's what you should focus on, man. Stop appearing on VladTV, giving him ratings off of your name and off of your commentary, man. But yeah, the one issue that I had with you is like that you were co-signing his statements about Jay-Z. Well, you kind of co-signed his statements about Jay-Z's album 444, where he's basically saying that that's a better album than Nas's Nasir album. And I really think that I really don't think that 444 is better than Nasir, man. Nasir, even though it has 7 tracks on it, all the beats on those tracks are hot for the most part. The only song I'm not feeling that much is Cop Shot the Kid. I don't like that beat that much, but everything else on that album is fire. Everything else has sick beats on it. It's produced by Kanye West, another example disproving this guy VladTV's point about Nas picking bad beats. That album is going to be something that's appreciated later, just like a masterpiece from Basquiat or Van Gogh or whatever. You know, a lot of times great masters aren't really that appreciated in their own lifetime because people can't see their vision. I mean, people are not on their level, man. People don't realize that, you know, the greatest artists are often well ahead of their time. And that's how I see it with Nas and even, you know, Kanye West as a producer, man. This is going to go down in history as like one of the best albums ever created, man. You know, because the lyrics are sick. You know, and people had a standard. They want Nas to sound like he did on Illmatic. They want every album that he does to be on that level or to be, you know, be similar to that. And they use that as a standard to judge his album. And it just makes me sick that you got all these critics, you know, trying to bash this Nasir album when it's one of the best albums that I've heard in a long time. So yeah, I just had to chime in about this, man. It's just so frustrating hearing this Russian guy talk about, like, this Russian Jewish guy talking about like what beats are hot. You know, talking about Nas doesn't pick the best beats when Nas has all these classic songs and albums. If he picked trash beats, people wouldn't even bother to listen to him like that. So, you know, I just think that this guy, VladTV, doesn't know what he's talking about. He obviously is biased against Nas.